Hello, everyone. We're here after a half day of workshopping, and I would like to introduce Babak, who has been a speaker for us today. Babak, if you could, please.
Sure. My name is Babak. I am the CTO AI for Cognizant. And my background is in AI. I have a PhD in AI, and I've been in the technology all my career since the late 80s.
Amazing.
All I've done, all I know, somehow it's in the spotlight these days. But, yeah.
Fantastic. It is very exciting times for anyone working in this sphere. There's a lot of interest, a lot of intrigue, a lot of uncertainty. So managing all those things that you have probably been preparing for a while, I'm sure at some point people were like, this is going to hit, but maybe not or expecting as the interest to be as intense. And I have a hot question for you. What tool or creative thinking do you think society is missing when it comes to human and AI collaboration?
Yeah, as AI becomes more and more capable and we trust it more to do things more autonomously, I think one of the big questions is going to be whether we would hold it liable for what it's doing. So assign personhood to it. And I think that's, for you and I and most of your viewers right now would be probably a very uncomfortable question or a very immediate snap answer, like, of course not. But we shouldn't jump to that conclusion too quickly. I think the technology is not quite ready for us to be able to assign personhood to it, so it's not something immediate. But as we move to the future and we have breakthroughs, it might be that we need to consider that, because a lot of the energy that we're putting into making these systems safer and have fallbacks to humans and all those sorts of things are kind of circumnavigating the real question here, I think.
Oh, fantastic. Anything else that you would want to say about your work and how they can maybe engage with you?
Yeah, so obviously my work is about the intersection of AI and technology with actually applications, being able to use them. And so I've been working on agent-based systems all my career, and I think they've kind of come around in some funny way that now we are actually looking at systems and AI enablement as engineering agent-based systems. And the stress is on engineering. So, AI is turning from, a be-all, end-all model that answers all your questions to a system that, as humans, we do have some agency over how we set it up.
Yes, we do.
Right?
Fear not, people.
Exactly. And so coming up with what are the best practices, how you do this in a safe manner, and then how, as it runs and develops and evolves, you maintain that level of safety and trust, I think are really interesting to me. And yeah.
Hi, everyone.
Hi.
I'm Mark Nitzberg. I am here from Berkeley, from the International Association for Safe and Ethical AI, a new scientific society. We're bringing together hundreds of organizations and thousands of people, and our mission is to ensure that AI systems are guaranteed to operate safely and ethically.
Thank you, Mark. So we have a hot question for you after half a day of workshopping, and we wanted to get your insight on something. So what tool or creative thinking is society missing when it comes to AI and human collaboration?
Well, that's a great question. Funny you should ask. And actually, there are two things that I would talk about. One is that at Berkeley is one of the great public AI labs, and we have I think 80 professors at the AI lab and 450 PhD students and thousands of undergrads, and every one of them is concerned with the impacts of what they're doing. But I don't think we're measuring the kinds of social change and economic and political change that we could. And if we are methodical about that and it's essentially broadcast, I think that would make a really big difference in how we adopt and deploy and so forth. The other thing I want to say is that the University of California, which is 10 campuses, including Berkeley and UCLA and San Diego and so on, when the tidal wave of generative AI started to break almost 3 years ago, the Office of the President convened a group of the leadership in pedagogy and the leadership in the administration and a number of us concerned with AI and working on the technology itself to answer the question, how should the university approach this, both in the classroom and in the administration?
That was a difficult question for so many places, and everyone was really struggling with how to actually even do anything.
It was going to get away from us,
Yeah.
and so we wanted to get ahead of it as quickly as possible, and I commend them for that. And they came up with a result that the prescription was, in fact, not a prescription. We're not forbidding its use in the classroom. We're not allowing its use in the classroom. But the idea was to allow the professors and the graduate student, the teaching fellows, to be experimental with it.
Yeah.
And so they were encouraging promiscuous experimentation with the methodical tracking of outcomes.
As opposed to being fearful, it's going to destroy our brains and all these things. So that's like really interesting of like, how do you make it something that we want to use and experiment to see how far the dangers of it on the good side and the bad. Hello everyone, we're here with Gudela. You know her, I'm sure you've seen her a lot on our page, but I'll let her introduce herself to you for some of you who might not.
Hello, I'm Gudela Grote. I'm co-chair of the TASC platform, and I'm also professor of work and organization psychology at the IASEAI in Zurich.
Thank you. So after a half a day of workshopping all these interesting questions, I decided to give you one last hot question. So what tool or creative thinking you think society is missing when it comes to AI and human collaboration?
Well, AI is the tool, I guess, and people have been saying that they don't even mind that LLMs, I guess, mostly are hallucinating because they don't care, because it's really just something that they use to hallucinate together with, and from that develop crazy ideas, but then those, I guess, they would continue to work on by themselves maybe, and without any AI and without any tool.
How would they do that? There's a lot of data crunching. There's a lot of things that people saying, this could be really helpful in my life. This can reduce my workload, all these things. But then, as you said, there's some dangers in that, right? There's some limits to it.
Well, I guess one thing is, if presumably all sorts of tools help me to do my routine work faster, or maybe delegate the routine work altogether to some automated system, AI or otherwise, then obviously I'd be freer to do more innovation, more creative stuff. And even within that, I could use tools, all sorts of, including, again, hallucinating AI. And with that, I guess, you keep the general setting of people working together and maybe having even more time to work together if really some boring part of their work is given away.
I think we've had this conversation a lot of times. If we decentralize work, what is our human life? If AI takes some of those things, what do we then do? Or what are we doing then with our society that we're building, right?
I think more generally then the question is, how much do we actually even have to work or do paid work? If we can be more productive in shorter time and even more innovative and whatever in shorter time, so are we free for the rest of the time to do other stuff? And that's, I guess, a big societal question that currently, I guess, isn't really asked so much, because so far I don't think there is a whole lot of productivity gains, efficiency gains from AI, but if we get there, then those questions definitely should be asked.
True. Coming back to our workshop today, is there anything that you wanted to highlight from the feedback session that we had when we talked about who is accountable for AI when it's misbehaving, hallucinating, and all this? Is there something that you wanted to maybe share with people who have not been at our workshop?
To me, an important point in learning really is that on the one hand side, when AI misbehaves, that points to basically a job badly done, right? So you got outcomes that you didn't want, the system didn't work the way it was supposed to. But I think there is an additional layer to that whole story. What are the working conditions of the people that work with AI or whose work is changed through AI? And the question then is who's kind of in control and accountability of these kinds of changes. So it's really different layers of that question.
Well, thank you so much, Gudela. Everyone, I would welcome you to post, comment on our LinkedIn page, get into conversations with us, reach out. We will be absolutely submitting some kind of summary after this event, so please stay tuned. Thank you, Gudela.
Thank you.